Where is your replacement? You were crowned as the Intimate Partner Primary Source, IPPS, and you enjoyed that magnificent golden period. Those mesmerizing days with the narcissist have gone, but the memory remains bittersweet. Blackened devaluation followed, and now disengagement as you find yourself cast aside. During the downward spiral, you had concerns that the person you loved and still love was playing around, seeing other people, and tarnishing that once professed perfect love. You believe that you have been pushed to one side, and another has taken your crown. Amidst the confusion and the mayhem, your quest for answers, being the empathic truth-seeker that you are, it has led you to realize that you have been ensnared by a narcissist. You dive down the rabbit hole, reading all you can about this extraordinary disorder, shaking your head as you see the similarities of the experiences of other people, fighting back the tears as the humiliation of your treatment sways heavy on your shoulders, and still wanting him or her back. The wanting, the desire, the need remains, and like so many others, the questions form and occupy your thoughts on a daily basis. Your suspicions that the narcissist was seducing someone else as the sun set on your empire with him or her remain. You understand from your reading or listening that the narcissist will often revel in rubbing the former IPPS's noses in it by parading to all and sundry the new IPPS. That is what you understand happens. You understand that there are relationship bulletins placed on social media. The new subject of the narcissist's infatuation is introduced to the narcissist's coterie, the friends, the family, and the colleagues as they get to bask in that golden light, and you sob in the shadows. It is unfair, it is unjust, it is wrong. You are concerned that this new IPPS will be the one to make everything right, and that the behaviours that you experienced through devaluation will not be repeated on this person. You, understandably driven by a lack of full understanding and the corrupting presence of your emotional thinking, want to derail this new coupling and ensure that you are installed back in that vaulted position of IPPS. And this time you will strive to ensure that you do everything right and avoid this awful fate that has currently befallen you. These are common responses and feelings, although not logical, they do happen. You have then been engaged in breach of no contact, but not realizing this, that you have undertaken the customary social media stalking, looking to find out who has taken your place, but you cannot find anything. There are no posts showing the narcissist grinning with the new conquest, cold, dead eyes gazing out from a score of posts, tendril wrapped about the new victim. You have not been able to contact any of the narcissist's family or friends, learning that you had been smeared as an abuser by the narcissist, this litany of lies having been established well in advance of your disengagement. Nobody wishes to talk with you. You have managed to convince a handful of friends, failing to notice their eye-rolling, to try to find out who the narcissist is now with. But they have drawn a blank. Yet you still have that nagging itch that someone new is in your place. Of course, if you were behaving logically, you would have no interest in finding out who this person is. But logic is struggling to break through. Emotional thinking, trying to feed your addiction, is continuing to cause you to find out who has replaced you. Your truth-seeker trait has been corrupted by this emotional thinking to drive you to undertake this investigative work. There must be somebody else. There must be a new primary source, because isn't that how it works? The narcissist needs that primary provider of the prime aims, including fuel, to ensure that potent, plentiful, and frequent fuel is provided to keep the construct in place. The narcissist cannot be without this particular appliance, or at least not for long, if a fuel crisis is to be averted. So, what has happened? What is going on? Where is your replacement? Where is the new IPPS? There are 4 scenarios which are relevant where it appears that a veil has been drawn across the new intimate partner primary source, and you're left asking, where is my replacement? Number 1, didn't receive the memo. There is a new IPPS, and the narcissist has not gone without the necessary fuel, but you don't know about it, because you have simply missed the fact that this is happening. You have looked in the wrong places. You've been kept out of the loop, and the sidelining and ostracization which takes place following your disengagement has meant that you just have not come across the evidence of the new intimate partner primary source. You haven't found out that there is a replacement for you, even though there is one. You haven't been included in the relationship bulletins because you, as the former IPPS, have been deleted from the world of the narcissist. And you haven't just learned of them, because he or she is very much there, but you have not been able to find out. Number 2, keeping it in the family. Your suspicion that there is a new primary source is a well-founded suspicion, but you've been looking in the wrong place. You have been looking for the new romantic partner of the narcissist, expecting to see him and her promenading together, dining at the haunts you were once taken to and splashed all over social media. Since you cannot find any of these indicators, you are puzzled. Surely the narcissist needs a primary source, but where is she? It is possible that the primary source is not an IPPS, but is a non-intimate partner primary source, and this usually means a family member. The narcissist has not ensnared a romantic primary source for various reasons, and therefore has fallen back on a family member to be the chief provider of fuel and often considerable residual benefits. The non-intimate partner primary source will usually be a parent, child, or sibling, in that order of likelihood. Extended family members can be, but this is rarer. If the narcissist has lived at home with a parent or moved back to live with a parent and you do not see a romantic primary source, it is highly likely that the mother or father is now the primary source. If the narcissist has children, minor or adult, and they live with the narcissist, one of these children will be crowned as the primary source, and this is why you can't find the new girlfriend. If the narcissist rents an apartment with her sister or brother, then again, they are likely to be the primary source. If there is no romantic primary source and you know the narcissist is living with a family member, then it is a keeping it in the family scenario. If they are not living with a family member and you cannot find a romantic partner, ascertain whether the narcissist is spending a lot of time with a family member. Are they turning up at their mother's house a lot? Do you know if he or she is popping across every day for dinner? Also keep in mind, there are likely to be many communications which you are not privy to between the narcissist and the family member, which underlines their status as the new primary source. Number 3, troublemaker. There is a new intimate partner primary source, but you are not being allowed to see that this person is in place. The narcissist, as a part of a need to assert control over both the newly crowned IPPS and you, as the former IPPS, is concerned that you're going to cause a major issue to the new golden period and doesn't want you interfering. You, of course, have been smeared as part of asserting control over other parties and indirectly over you as a crazed harpy, the lunatic, the psycho X, so that the loyal members of the coterie form a protective wall around the narcissist and his new love interest. The coterie and the lieutenants will have been extensively briefed as to your catalogue of, invariably fabricated, awful behaviours towards the narcissist. But your obsessed investigations as you sought to obtain answers, are now actually being used against you. You become the crazy stalker, painted as the oddball, who just will not move on, and although in part you are unable to move on, it is not for the reasons that have been explained about you. The narcissist is most concerned that you are going to try to expose him or her to the new intimate partner primary source, so that the wonderful golden period is derailed. He or she is worried that precious energy will be taken up trying to keep you away, fending off your attempts to display the truth about us, as the narcissist seeks to manage the facade and prevent his or her good name being muddied. You won't find a greater narcissist or ultra in this position. The concern about you and what you will do is the preserve of the mid-ranger, most likely, and therefore it is that school which will be keeping the new IPPS on the down low. They will frequent different places, avoid social media pronouncements, block you on social media, and create the appearance of there not being a new IPPS, all done to ensure that you do not spoil matters. This situation is most likely where you have escaped, or if you have been disengaged from, it is where you have shown a particular application in trying to have your truth told to many other appliances within the fuel matrix, so you are refusing to abide by the expected role of weeping and woeful former IPPS. Show any fight against being controlled in this way, demonstrate a desire to confront and challenge, and you will be swiftly labelled as a troublemaker. The narcissist will then pull a veil over the IPPS, shrouding them from you, ensuring the coterie makes no mention of a new girlfriend, avoiding any possibility of detection, and thus ensuring that the newly embedded IPPS is not affected by your crazed rantings. Number 4. Secondary sources rule. You cannot find a new IPPS for the simple reason there isn't one. The narcissist hasn't embedded a new IPPS or non-intimate partner primary source. Instead, the narcissist is content to operate by obtaining fuel from key secondary sources, IPSSs, DLSs, and non-intimate secondary sources. There are 2 instances where this occurs. The narcissist is the ultra or a greater and has such an extensive fuel matrix that he or she can readily juggle various intimate partner secondary sources and dirty little secrets who provide plenty of fuel, and therefore there is not yet a need for an IPPS. Indeed, some graters may operate a fuel matrix of extensive secondary sources and no primary source for several months. 2. The narcissist is mid-range or lesser and has not yet been able to embed a new IPPS quickly enough, and therefore has been forced to rely on the supplementary sources, secondary and tertiary, in the meanwhile. This state of affairs will not last long, and the narcissist will be endeavouring to find an IPPS or turn to a non-intimate partner primary source if need be. Accordingly, when you ask, "Where is my replacement?" just because you can't spot that replacement, and you can't find the new love interest of the narcissist who has callously disengaged from you, or more rarely where you've escaped, it doesn't mean that there isn't one. Usually, it's the case that that primary source has had an obscuring veil placed across them. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.